So, it's time for calibration. I'm going to calibrate the filmmaker mode. I'm going to use a custom white point for this calibration, and later also calibrate the cinema mode to a standard D65 white point for comparison. I should also mention that the CalMAN software only works on PCs running Windows 7 or later. After purchasing a license, downloading and installing the CalMAN software, you also need to download a video file from Portrait Display's website. The video file can be found in an article called LG 2019 Internal Pattern Generator. The link to that article is available in the notes for this video. After opening the link, scroll down to the blue text that says HDR. Right-click on it and choose Save Link As. You will now need a thumb drive or hard drive with USB connectivity. Connect it to your C9 or CX series OLED and format it. This can be done from the home dashboard. Now plug the drive into your computer and copy the video file to it. Because of the formatting of the drive, this has to be done on a PC. Now plug the drive back into the OLED again, and play the video file with TV's Media Player app. This will activate the proper HDR mode and allow us to use the internal pattern generator to calibrate it. Now go to the picture settings and verify that your OLED is in the picture mode you're going to calibrate. Now start up CalMAN on your PC. Open the LG AutoCal workflow template. Select OLED and HDR and click Next. First we're going to connect our measurement device, for example an I1 colorimeter. So make sure it's connected to your computer and select Find Meter. Once it's found, select the proper meter mode for your meter. For an I1 Display Pro colorimeter, Tyler Pruitt recommends that you choose the raw XYZ meter mode. Now click on Find Source. Select LG and the model you're going to connect to. Look up the IP address of your OLED by going to Settings, Connection, Network Connection Settings, and choose Wired or Wi-Fi, depending on how you have it connected to your network or PC. Firstly, write down the IP address for future reference. Then fill in the IP address in CalMAN and hit Connect. Now enter the pin code that shows up on your TV and press OK. It's a security feature, a new code will be generated for each calibration session. We're going to use a 10% window for the calibration. Here's also where you can change the white point target. By default, this is set to D65. I'm going to instead select Custom and enter 0.305 for the x-axis and 0.322 for the y-axis. This number is recommended by Tyler Pruitt for perceptual matching to a YAD-modified RGB OLED. Try it out and see if you like them better than the standard D65 target. Now go up to the LG tab and make sure to change the Colorspace setting to HDR 2020. Close the LG window and click Next. So it's time to take the first measurements. Place your colorimeter on the center of the screen and click the Read Series button to start taking measurements. This process will take a couple of minutes to finish, and take measurements using both a grayscale and a color checker. Since C9 users can't verify an HDR calibration with the internal pattern generator, you probably won't see the screen at all. Once finished, click Next to continue. Click on Find LG TV. Choose your model and enter the same IP address as you did earlier. Hit connect. This can take a few seconds. Once connected, select the HDR picture mode that you want to calibrate. I'm going to select the HDR filmmaker mode. Make sure the box next to HDR is checked and that the Colorspace is set to BT 2020. Then select Full DDC Reset. This will reset the picture mode and its lookup tables. The reset will take a few seconds to complete. Then click Next. Check so the Enable Calibration box is checked. And then click Next. So this is where the actual calibration starts, with the creation of a 1D lookup table to correct the grayscale, gamma and white point. According to Tyler Pruitt, to get the best calibration possible, open the Workflow and Application Settings panel. And under the Application Measurements options, make sure that the delta E formula is set to DE ITP. With this setting, you should see better results, especially near black detail, compared to some faster alternatives. Now press the AutoCal button. And once you see a pop-up window, make sure that active grayscale points is set to LG 20 points HDR. And click OK. The calibration should take about 20 minutes to complete. On the left, you can see how well we're able to track the PQ curve. So that's only related to luminance. In the middle, you have accuracy with both color and luminance taken into account. And the graph on the right only shows the accuracy in regards to color, so that the grayscale is neutral with no visible color or tint to it. Once finished, click Next. Here, the 3D LUT for color gamut is created. To start, click the AutoCal button. And then OK. This calibration only takes about 45 seconds to complete. Click Next. Now, what's really amazing is that you now can set the tone curve to clip at your OLED's peak luminance output. We're going to start with measuring the panel's peak luminance. Click Measure Peak Luminance. And enter the result in the Luminance tab. This lets the OLED know how bright it is, which will make sure that it tracks the PQ curve correctly. To make the OLED hard clip at its maximum calibrated value, we're going to keep the mastering peak 1 at 1000 nits, and change the roll-off point 1 to 100%. With a lower value, the OLED is going to start rolling off the PQ signal before it clips, so it looks nicer when consuming content. So with a setting of, for example, 70, the roll-off point will start at 70% of the OLED's calibrated maximum value. Now, we don't really need to care about other settings right now. To upload the tone map, click on the on-off button, and then click Next to continue. Uncheck the Enable Calibration box to go out of calibration mode. Then click Next. Now, on a C9 series OLED, you can't verify an HDR calibration. So, for C9 users, your calibration is now completed. For CX users, however, it's possible to use the internal path generator to do a before and after comparison. Click the Read Series button to measure the display. This should take a couple of minutes to complete. Click Next to review the calibration. Now, if you have calibrated the Filmmaker mode or Technicolor mode as called on the C9. Play some content and compare it to the cinema mode, or vice versa if you have calibrated the cinema mode. On my 48-inch CX series OLED, there was a green tone to the factory settings that disappeared after calibration. And the black level also got a bit deeper. So let's go back into DaVinci Resolve and import some footage.